Hi. So in this video we're going to talk about ratio, and we use ratio when we're dealing with multiple different things that we have quantities for. So for example, in this first written out example, we get 5 black cars, 4 red cars and 3 blue cars. What if we want to compare to each other how many of each of them there are, but in a simple way that is not having to write out that sentence each time? And what we can do is write it out with numbers and then this special little symbol with the 2 dots, okay? Which is called a colon in English, but we use it as a ratio symbol here in maths. And so if I want to really express that very easily as just numbers, I can say there's 5 black cars, there's 4 red cars, and there's 3 blue cars. So you can see that I'm able to express that information very quickly with just numbers. But you need to be very careful with ratio because it all depends on which one you put first. That means we've got 5 to 4 to 3. That means we've got 5 black cars, 4 red cars, and 3 blue cars. Because in the sentence it's described them as black, then red, then blue, I need to have them in that order in the ratio. I can't do 3, 4, 5, I can't do 4, 3, 5, it needs to be 5, 4, 3, because I've described it as black, red, blue. Okay? So another one would be 15 cats and 12 dogs. So it's not going to be 12 then 15, it's going to be 15 then 12. So 15 dot dot 12 is correct, but 12, 15 is incorrect, okay? But hopefully you can recognize that 15 and 12 there's something about those numbers. And the whole point of ratio is that we can then further simplify down so we can find the most basic unit values of each component. For example, in this case, cats and dogs. So it's just times tables. So think about what times table 15 and 12 are in. They're both in the 3 times table. And so that ratio of 15 to 12, which is cats to dogs, can be simplified down into 5 to 4, because 15 divided by 3 is 5, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay? So really all we're going to do here is very quickly simplify each of these ratios, and that's it. So example 1, you can see it's 4 to 6. They're both in the 2 times table. Giving me 2 to 3. 5 to 15 is both in the 5 times table. Giving me 1 to 3. 8 to 32. They're both in the 8 times table, but you could also say they're both in this 2 times table and they're both in the 4 times table. So there's different ways of doing this. If I immediately recognize they're in the 8 times table, I would get it to be 1 to 4. Say you didn't recognize that, that's fine. Say we recognize that they're both in the 4 times table. It's fine. It just takes you an extra step. You'll still get there eventually. Okay? So just always check that you've fully simplified the ratio as far as possible. And if you're not that good at your timetable, that's fine, because you can take steps. Example 4 is a pretty tricky one because the numbers look horrible. They are just both in the 17 times table. I just thought I'd throw you that one in to challenge you if you actually were finding it tricky. Okay? So we're going to have to divide both of them by 17. So ratio is a way of comparing quantities of different objects, or for example cars, cats, dogs, use it a lot in recipes. Okay, so that is ratio, and then simplifying ratio.